Sam Raimi's Spider-Man from 2002. Iconic, spectacular, and amazing. Today we're going to be talking about this movie on VHS, including the commercials and the fact that it's in full screen. I saw this movie in theaters. I was 11 years old. I went with a group of my friends. There was 4 of us and 1 parent. It was incredible. Times were good. Let's go ahead and throw the tape in. Nothing quite as comforting as the startup of a VHS tape. Columbia TriStar Home Entertainment, now playing. It's interesting, now playing commercial on a VHS. But we get a trailer for I Spy starring Owen Wilson and Eddie Murphy. There's clips for Triple X, Men in Black 2, Mr. Deeds, and Stan Lee's Mutants, Monsters, and Marvels. Now here's where it gets good. There's a Spider-Man Singular Wireless ad. It's kind of interesting. Big sign of the times, Singular Wireless. Anybody remember that? There's a little ad for the Spider-Man album on CD. Lots of people had that thing. Stay tuned for the Spider-Man music video after the feature.
No, I don't think I will.
Sorry, I hate Nickelback. Now, I kept noticing comparisons to Ghostbusters while watching this. Here's the first one. Columbia Pictures cues up, and then the music slowly starts to fade in, and it's just iconic. You know what movie you're watching before anything happens. And while we're talking about the opening here, let's talk about this opening credit sequence. It's amazing, isn't it? I still remember how I felt seeing this movie in theaters. Danny Elfman doing this score that somehow sounds noble with undertones of tragedy, you know? And then the movie really kicks in.
Who am I? You sure you want to know?
This bus scene, something very familiar about all this.
You're so lame, Parker.
It's like... Can't sit here.
Alright, Ghostbusters comparison number 2. They are both produced by Columbia Pictures and feature scenes at Columbia University. I've been to New York twice for 2 of the last Ghostbuster movies premieres. My podcast got to cover them and it was amazing, but both times we visited Columbia University. And this time, for Ghostbusters Frozen Empire, I also did this.
You know, I'm something of a scientist myself.
I really think this movie is so funny while not coming off as parody or, ridiculous or anything. The thing that I really like is these characters really feel fully fledged, and fleshed out. I also really like Peter having an acid trip in his bedroom. The thing about them letting Sam Raimi direct this movie was that we got scary scenes out of it. The creation of the Green Goblin is a scary scene. Now, I'm not talking about, you're going to watch this as a 30-year-old and you're going to be like, I'm terrified, but I was 11 watching this in a theater, and it's super unsettling, but it's great. It's one of my favorite things about this movie now. Peter goes to school again, we have a fight scene, we have him developing powers and stuff, and I think this is all really done really well too, the origin story of Peter Parker, which is why I'm grateful when they did the MCU they didn't do it again. Personally, I don't think there's going to be another film adaptation that does a Peter Parker origin story better. And that's a funny scene when he's doing all the hand gestures and trying to figure out how to make it work. Now, would I have preferred them stick with their original plan of having him use web cartridges? Sure, but here we are, this is what we have, so it's fine. So he decides he needs a car to impress Mary Jane, and to get a car, he decides to become a wrestler for a night and win $3,000. Thank God he does, because we get Randy Savage and Bruce Campbell. But I also want to point out another Spider-Man and Ghostbusters comparison. The New York Public Library, another place that I've been on my trips, that is featured in both Ghostbusters and Spider-Man. So Randy Savage's Bonesaw is incredible, obviously. Iconic, quotable. Bruce Campbell and his renaming of him from the human spider to the Spider-Man always gives me a little chuckle. Uncle Ben gets killed, which leads us to his first web-slinging scene fully, where he's actually working it. And it looks great, and it's like you're watching this now and you're realizing, oh man, they really kind of pioneered this look of how the web slinging is and what it would be in a film. And it's really cool, and it still holds up. Personally, top 5 quotes of the movie, this one definitely makes it in.
This is not a man. My brother saw him building a nest in the Lincoln Center fountain.
And also,
guy with 8 hands. Sounds hot.
And we gotta talk a little bit about Jameson because, wow, this guy is stealing the show. I watched the cartoon in the 90s, Spider-Man the Animated Series. It kind of came shortly after X-Men, It's actually on Disney Plus, and I've been rewatching it lately. Maybe I'll do a review of the whole series at the end. But that's where I knew Jameson from mostly. And when I saw this, I was immediately super just satisfied,
They're crap. Crap. Mega crap.
And going on, Jameson only got funnier as a character as you get older, Also, gotta point out Ted Raimi as Hoffman here. In true Sam Raimi fashion, this mirror scene where he's kind of talking to his possessed self, the Goblin, it's done so well, and Dafoe's performance is It's dark and brooding, and it kind of feels like Bruce Wayne should be living here, you know?
You wanna know the truth? I don't think I've ever been in this room before.
My favorite physical acting in this movie is when Green Goblin slaps the back of Spider-Man's head and just kind of plops down next to him when he's trying to get into joint forces with him. The fight in the burning building, too, like, this is just excellent choreography, excellent melding of practical and CGI effects, great performances, tension, we love it, which will lead to one of the more tense scenes in the movie, the Thanksgiving scene, and the blood drip, and the discovering basically that, oh, Peter Parker's Spider-Man, which all these villains seem to find out very easily. Yet another terrifying scene is when Aunt May is praying before bed and the Goblin just crashes through.
Finish it! Finish it!
The only thing I don't like about these movies, but I gotta say, it's not the movie's fault necessarily. It could be the source material they're looking at, but Mary Jane being used as a damsel in distress is a little boring to me. I'm over that kind of plot line. I get it. It makes sense in this, and, you know, Spider-Man does that, so I could definitely do without. But we get another awesome action scene. To be honest, the bridge scene part of it, I don't love it. I don't hate it. It gets better when they're fighting in that old abandoned building. It's brutal. Peter Parker's getting his ass kicked. And another thing only Sam Raimi would do is, as the glider's coming in, stop to see Norman go. Oh. And everybody trying to protect Harry. Don't tell Harry. It's interesting because a lot of these comic book movies, especially for a long time, and they still do it, where they kill off the villain in the first movie because it's kind of just the way they've done it for so long, I guess. I don't know. Now, they don't always do that anymore, which is good. And then bro full-on rejects Mary Jane and walks away like a boss, like, what? Alright, I guess. She's still gonna be the damsel in distress. So you may as well have just gone for it, you know? Spider-Man is back in theaters right now for the 100th anniversary of Columbia Pictures. I recommend checking it out in the theater. I debated doing it myself, but I watched the VHS at home instead. If you like this video, please like it and remember to be kind, subscribe. Thanks for watching.